Romshinators, 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 it is so good to be back speaking with you once again. It is a beautiful day, the air is crisp. I am yours, you are mine. I am back with another beautiful broadcast. For all of those blessed with the divine gift that is the human mind. As Earl Nightingale said, we were all given a mind at birth, and for the most part, we take it for granted. I'm not sure if he actually said that, to be honest. But that sounds like something he would say. Controlling the mind seems to be one of the most difficult tasks that us as human beings face worldwide. The control of our mind, this beautiful, pink, throbbing mass that sits between our ears, behind our eyes. How do we control it? How do we make it do what's best for us? How do we stop it from worrying about things that don't matter? How do we guide it in the right direction so that we don't go absolutely fucking crazy when we take a look at the world around us? Well, I remember when I was a kid, I was about maybe 8, maybe 9. I became very worried about the threat of nuclear war and the threat of disease, the threat of illness, the threat of bumping my head and hurting my brain, the threat of Bloody Mary reaching out of the mirror when I was in the washroom and ripping my face off. I was worried that Satan was going to come up from hell and destroy my soul. We weren't even a religious family, yet I was worried about this. And my grandfather obviously saw this in me. I don't know when he saw it. We were never particularly close. We only saw each other on, family get-togethers, holidays. We didn't live together, but I'm sure he could see it over the course of maybe a couple years that I was becoming very worried. And I believe it was on my 12th birthday, or something like that, my grandfather gifted me this book. This book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's very small, as you can see. And this type of self-help, mind control, positive thinking content is seen by many of us to be very hokey today. We see it as being silly. We see all the injustices of this world. We see the poverty and the ultra wealthy. We see the great tragedies of our own lives and of those around us. We see front loaders picking up homeless encampments into their baskets and just dumping them into dumpsters. We see people sleeping on the streets. We see all sorts of horrible things. And we pretty much write this stuff off, because why wouldn't we? And I'm a 34-year-old man. I've seen a lot of things. I've lived a fairly privileged life, of course, but I've had my share of tragedies, my share of ups and downs, and I still think that for the most part, this book holds up. And the reason why I'm starting this episode with this book is because I believe that through the use of social media applications such as Instagram Reels, TikTok, and Facebook.com, we are largely throwing away the potential of our incredible human minds that we were given at birth by the creator of this universe to do with what we want. Allow me a moment to find the opening paragraph of this book. I've read this book probably 100 times. I used to read this book once a day, but it's very small. here we are. I hope you like that page-turning ASMR. A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein, and will continue to produce their kind. Just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend to the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts, and cultivating towards perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. By pursuing this process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. He also reveals within himself the laws of thought and understands, with ever-increasing accuracy, how the thought forces and mind elements how the thought forces and mind elements operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances, and destiny. What an incredible passage. Something I've read, like I said, probably about 100 times from a young age. And yet still, having read this so many times, I have found it incredibly hard to control my mind throughout the years. And yes, we may take a materialist viewpoint and do away with all thoughts of manifestation, do away with all thoughts of karma. But what we cannot do away with is the reality that we are miserable when our thoughts are miserable. And that to a certain extent we do have control over our minds, some more than others, and none of us entirely. Believe me, I know that none of us really have full control. But in this age of social media, I believe, as the book says, that by scrolling on these platforms, watching these short-form videos, we are letting an abundance of useless weed seeds fall into our mind and take root. Whether we're just watching them passively in the background, whether we are watching them to escape from a stressful day, we are still watching them, and those thoughts are still taking root within our minds. I've done a little bit of math. I'm not really a math guy. So forgive me if there's something wrong with my math. I kind of hope there is, for all of our sakes, actually. Because I've done some math relating to the amount of time that we spend on social media. And while we're going through this, keep in mind that all this time we're on social media, we're letting governments and corporations put thoughts and ideas into our head. We're letting them influence our beautiful human mind, which we were given at birth, the most powerful thing the universe has ever created. Other than supernovas, black holes, oceans, mountains, trees, the human mind is up there. I'm so powerful, I'm a human. Listen to me. I'm really digging this music right now, to be honest. Fuck, tea is so good. I'm actually stalling getting to the numbers. This isn't short form content. I need you to stay with me. If I'm going to reveal this type of information, I need you to sit with me for a little bit while we prepare ourselves to receive it. It's no secret that many of us are spending up to 3 hours a day scrolling on our cell phones. Some of us spend more, some of us spend less. But a pretty good average would be 3 hours a day, letting governments and corporations put thoughts and ideas into our heads, letting an algorithm manipulate our minds and plant these useless seeds into our subconscious. 3 hours a day is 21 hours a week. 21 hours a week times 52 weeks is 1,092 hours a year. 1,092 hours every single year. Me and you are letting these little seeds take root in our mind. That's already pretty fucked, okay? And I don't see this trend changing. People aren't spending less time on social media. If anything, we are being slowly submerged in technology. I see these numbers going up, but let's just say this 3 hours stays the same for the next decade. 1,092 hours a year times 10 years, this is easy math now, is 10,920 hours over the next decade. If I don't change, if you don't change, we are slated to spend 10,920 hours staring at our cell phones, letting governments and corporations put thoughts into our heads, letting algorithms manipulate our minds over the next 10 years, over the next decade. Okay. Have any of you romshinators out there read the Malcolm Gladwell book, Outliers? I listened to it years ago. This is the book where the whole 10,000 hours things come from. Sorry. This is the book where the whole 10,000 hours concept comes from, that you need to spend 10,000 hours on any skill to master it. So, in the next 10 years, I am going to be the master of Instagram Reels. The absolute master. 10,920, I'm going to be more than a master. I'm going to be the grandmaster of Instagram content. I will have spent 10,920 hours letting Instagram Reels tell me what to think. Incredible. But you may be thinking, yes, Romshii, that's really bad, but I know this already. Well, stop for a second. Let's look at how much time we really have, because if you're anything like me, you probably have a full-time job, you have other responsibilities, you're a grown-ass adult, you have things to do, your time is very lean, you know? So let's calculate how much free time we really have, and I'm going to be very, very generous with these numbers. The more generous we are now, the less devastating the results will be. But if you feel like I'm doing this math wrong, you can go and redo it for numbers that make more sense for your own life. Let's just say you have no responsibilities outside of work, and every night you have 5 hours of free time, Monday to Friday. That is 25 hours a week, and let's say on the weekend you have 10 hours a day, free time. That's 20 hours on the weekend. 20 plus 25, 45 free hours every single week of succulent, beautiful time to do what you want. 45 incredible hours with which you can form your life. Make your dreams come true. Fall in love. Pick a berry off a tree. Go for a walk. Feel that crisp air touch your nostrils. Watch people in the street. Learn, grow, evolve 45 hours a week. Without a boss telling you what to do. And 45 times 52, 52 weeks in a year, is 2,340. So every year, you and me, we have roughly 2,340 free hours a year. We probably have much less, but as I said, I'm being generous with the numbers, so 2,340 a year. And we know that over the next 10 years, we are slated to spend 10,920 hours on our phones looking at incredible educational content on TikTok and Instagram Reels. What is 10,920 divided by 2,340? Well, Romshinators, hold your breath. Actually, don't hold your breath. Continue to breathe. Sorry. The answer is 4.6. I actually feel nervous every time I do this math. If I don't change and if you don't change, we are slated to spend 4.6 years of free time over the next decade staring at our phones. 4.6 years over the next decade. How do we expect to take control of our minds and have clear thoughts about our future if we're spending this much time having random thoughts put into our head by people we don't even know? I'm secretly afraid that this math doesn't actually make any sense because I'm not very good at math, so I hope it doesn't. Please let me know down below if this doesn't make any sense. But as far as my pea-brain Romshinator mind can tell, in the next 10 years, if I don't change and if you don't change, we are slated to spend 4.6 years of free time on our phones. That's crazy. That's insane. I don't know what to tell you. 10,920 hours over the next 10 years, 1,092 hours in 1 year alone, 21 hours a week. Handing over this beautiful human mind to people we don't even know, who don't care about us, who don't love us, who don't want to see us win. They just want to see us buying stuff. They want to see us clicking ads. They want to see us walking in a straight line. Romshinators, let's get out there and do something else. I hope my math is wrong. Please double check my math. Tell me if I'm being totally fucking stupid here. I really hope I am. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope it's like, no, Romshii, you're actually wrong. I actually have more free time now. Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you so much. I'm still really figuring out what this whole thing is, so I really appreciate any feedback you can give me, what you like, what you don't like, things you wish I would say, things you wish I wouldn't say. Or don't tell me anything. Just silently enjoy it. If you're watching this far, I appreciate you. I'm really enjoying this music right now, so I think I'm just going to make some music for a while. Feel free to stay or leave. It's fine. You have your own life to live. I've just given you some very sobering information. So I get it if you have to leave. I don't even care if the math is right anymore. I'm not even upset anymore. I've just made some music here. It's so nice. One thing I'd say is, as far as controlling your own mind goes, you know, as I said, I mean, I've been aware of this whole trying to think positive thing since I was a small child. You know, I was always a naturally worried person. But for someone who's not naturally worried, all this stuff just seems like, what the hell, man? Don't you know? Just take it easy. Why are you so worried? Why was I worried about Satan taking me to hell when I was a child? Why was I worried about Bloody Mary coming through the window and scratching my eyes out, you know? And as an adult, I'm not scared of those same apparitions, you know? I'm not as superstitious as I was when I was 8. But I still go through long periods of not really making a good effort at controlling my mind, and I find if I return to the book As a Man Thinketh, and I withdraw a little bit from social media, and when I'm watching something negative, I just kind of pull back and try to realize what I'm doing and go, hey, I don't need these thoughts in my head. And maybe just go for a little walk or something. No, not listening to anything, or listen to some nice music or something. Make some nice music. I don't know, just do something. It's not that big of a deal. I don't want to come across like some fear-monger person, like, oh my God, I'm spending all this time on social media. At the end of the day, I mean, you could be spending that time just staring at a brick wall. It doesn't really matter. If social media is what you love, if you love Instagram Reels and you think the content on there is amazing, spend 6 hours a day. Spend all your free time doing it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm just in a better mood now because I just made all this nice music. And I'm glad I got to share it with you. So thank you very much, Romshinators, for watching. I really appreciate it. If you've made it this far, you're a real motherfucking Romshinator. And if you have made it this far, please comment down below so I'll know that it's you. Say, I'm a real Romshinator, and here I am. So if you could just write that down in the comments, I would appreciate it. I'm gonna say this is the unofficial end of the video, but I really just want to keep making music. I'm really enjoying this, so I might just keep going. Anyways, Romshinators, have a fantastic rest of your day. Get out there, do something amazing. Don't worry about all this shit. Watch social media if you want. Who am I to tell you? Who am I to break down all these numbers? I'm not a mathematician. So what if you're spending 4.6 hours of free time over the next 10 years on social media? Who cares? You could be mastering a skill. That's terrible. Life isn't all about mastering skills and being productive anyways, you know. If it helps you relieve stress, who cares? I don't know. Now I feel totally different. I feel all relaxed from this nice music. Let's get a little chaotic. Goodbye.